it's Christina with Bubblegum Paper, and I'm back with another card. Today it's a Snazzy Succulent Birthday Shaker pop-up card. I'm featuring products from Mama Elephant, Fawn, The Stamps of Life, and I have a few others. And today's card is super special because it's my niece's 13th birthday. So happy birthday, Stephanie, and welcome to being a teen. Here's a close-up of what the card looks like from the outside, and then when you open it up, here's the inside. So let's get started. I'm using a ton of different products in today's card. From Mama Elephant, I have Woolly Winter, Lunar Animals, Blogging Buddies, Little Edibles, and their pop-up trio dies. From Lawn Fun, I'm using Stuck on You, Owen's ABCs, the Stitched Rectangles, and the Scalloped Rectangles. From the Stamps of Life, I have Succulents to Stamp. From Simon Says Stamp, I have Circle Loops. And from Avery, Elle, The Merriest Sentiments. I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink to stamp the little sheep and the little monkey. So the sheep is from Woolly Winter and the monkey is from Lunar Animals. I'm also stamping two little party hats as well as the computer from Blogging Buddies. And then on the computer screen, I'm going to put three little pears, little happy pears from Little Edibles. Next, I'm going to use this Stamp Perfect stamp positioning tool from Hampton Arts. And what I'm going to do here is lay down the stamp for the succulents. So I have a little pot, and then I'm also going to lay down the main succulent leaves. And I'm using Willow Hybrid ink from Simon Says Stamp on the leaves, and I'm using their pale blush, or maybe it's pale pink blush, from also from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm just going to stamp those down. And what's great about this tool is I can add more colors to those same stamps and add a little bit more definition to the stamping itself. So because this stamp positioning tool just keeps the paper in place, I can add this slightly brighter orange color to the top of the pink, so it gives a tiny bit of definition. You can't really see that on camera. And then I'm using this Hero Arts Ombre ink pad and just adding a little tint of blue to the leaves. And then now you can see a little more definition in the plant itself. Next, I'm also going to use this tool to work on my letters. So what's great about this tool, again, is that you can use it with multiple stamps all at once. So I'm just laying down all of the letters for Snazzy, which is a phrase my niece loves to say over and over again. I even had to ask her how to spell it because I wasn't sure if it ended with a Y or an IE. Although her name ends with an IE, so maybe she should spell Snazzy with an IE just to keep it her own. Anyhow, I'm taking a bunch of different rainbow colors. So I have a bunch of Kelly Perky dye inks, as well as some Simon Says Stamp hybrid inks. And I'm just changing each of the letters so that I have the colors of the rainbow. And because I need two Z's, I'm skipping one color. I think I'm skipping the bluish tealish color in this initial stamp set. So as I'm going through, you can see I didn't fully stamp them all the way. So I'm going back a second time and just making sure I'm inking everything up. And then I'm stamping those down. I didn't really like how the Y came out the second time when I ran it through. So I decided that I was going to restamp the Z and the Y. So you can see this second Y that I'm about to stamp will be a much brighter purple. It's a cleaner purple. I think I got some yellow in the previous one. Now that all my stamping is done, I'm going to go in and do my Copic coloring. Now, as you may know from all my previous videos, I love using the Lunar Animal stamp sets to do birthday cards for my family members. And Stephanie's an interesting one because her birthday was in January. So she was actually born in the year of the sheep, but most of her classmates were born in the year of the monkey. So she calls herself a sheep-monkey hybrid. So I thought it was fitting to color both a sheep and a monkey for this card. Now I'm going to go ahead, speed this up, and then I'll be back for the pears. So Stephanie's monitor is sitting on her desk, and she loves using her computer to watch YouTube videos and hang out with her friends on Google Hangouts. So I thought I'd color the monitor a darker black slash grayish color. I think her monitor is actually black, but I wanted to just use a bunch of cool grays. And then I'm also going to, you can see I colored out of the line, so I'm just using some colorless blender to blend it back in. Then I'm going in with this really light blue color and then a BG11 to color in some of the corners. So I'm using BG for the BG on the screen. One of the YouTube videos that Stephanie absolutely loves to watch is by USA Pears, and it's called Pear Varieties, and proceeds to go through the 10 different varieties of pears that USA Pears harvests. And she shared this with me and also shared it with a friend of mine who is visiting Winnie. And we proceeded to watch a video about pears. And you'll learn so much from this video. So I'm actually going to put a link to the video here in the upper right corner so you too can share in Stephanie's love for pears. Did you know that the camise is succulent and creamy? I did not know that until I watched this video, and that's why I put a succulent and creamy pear in the screen because I have a succulent on the front of the card. Next, I'm using coordinating dies to cut out the monkey, the sheep, the party hat. I'm also going to use it on the succulent and the snazzy letters. I didn't have a coordinating die for the monitor, so I end up fussy cutting that later in the video. I then take the stitched rectangle border and cut that out, and then I'm using the circle loops and cutting it twice, once out of white paper and once out of green glitter paper. So as I mentioned, I did not have a coordinating die for the monitor, so I'm just using my scissors to carefully cut out the monitor and leaving a little bit of a border on the edge so that it kind of looks like I used a coordinating die. I used the Wishing You a Birthday sentiments from the Avery Elle stamp set, and I'm using the stamp positioning tool to stamp that down. Then I'm taking some distress ink and I'm just inking up a piece of paper with tumbled glass and peacock feathers. This is going to provide a little bit of a sky background for the shaker card. And so I just went in. At first I was just going to use tumbled glass, but then I decided peacock feathers would add a little more color to the top. So next I'm taking the pop-up trios, the smallest and the medium ones, and I'm just taping them down so they're equally spaced on the inside of the card. I ran that through my die cutting machine, and all you have to do to create the pop-up is fold at the score lines, so you have kind of a step. Then I'm taking the scalloped rectangle die and I'm cutting it on 3 sides of this inside panel, and I'm avoiding the side where the pop-up trio is. So I'll run that through my die cutting machine, and that way I'll have an internal scalloped rectangle, but it won't cut. It'll keep the fold where it is. Next, I'm taking the sentiment from Succulents to Stamp, and I'm stamping that right in the center, and it says, "Have a succulent birthday." It's the most random birthday message, but I thought it was perfect for Stephanie's card. To put the pop-up inside the main card, I'm just adding some tape runner adhesive on both sides of the scalloped rectangle piece, and then I'm gluing them down while both cards are folded. Then I take my very favorite Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen, and I'm just adding it all over the screen, and the monkey, the sheep, the snazzy letters, the succulent, everything here is now going to sparkle. So you can kind of see it on camera, not really, but believe me, when you look at this in person, it is super, super shiny and sparkly. What I love about these O and ABC's letters is that you can create your own substantial sentiment. So, and you don't have to line everything up perfectly. So you can just cut out a bunch of letters and then glue them in place afterwards. So here I have snazzy, but if I wanted to say wicked awesome, which is one of my favorite sayings, I could spell that out. Or you can say, I don't know, Stephanie also says precisely or calls her dog Fluffy. You could write all of these out and then just assemble them afterwards. So I added the party hats to each of the animals, and now I'm going to glue the 2 animals in place, only putting adhesive on the bottom of that pop-up rectangle. And then I got some extra adhesive down. And then I'm gluing the monitor right between the 2, and that's pretty much the inside of the card. Next, for the shaker, I'm going to first glue the window down. I always forget this, so I wanted to make sure I got this part first. And then I'm using some foam adhesive, double-layered foam adhesive, to put around the window and then around the border of the card itself. Then I'm using a powder tool to de-stick the inside of that window. So I'm just running that right along the edges so the sequins don't stick to the shaker. And then I'm going to add a bunch of rainbow colored sequins. I'm using some sequins from Tailored Expressions in Pretty Pink Posh, and I'm just adding those to the shaker window. And then I'm not sure if you saw it on camera right before the foam adhesive part, but I did glue down that blue sky panel to the main card base first. And now when you glue the front panel to the main card base, you see the blue sky background. Next, I'm taking this glitter circle and adding some adhesive to the back of that, kind of doing a little die cut inlay, just gluing that in place. And then I took some foam adhesive and put it on the back of the succulent plant, and then placed that succulent right in the center of the circle loop. Next, I'll add some adhesive to the back of the rectangle stitched frame, and I'm just gluing that in place. And then finally, I will take foam adhesive and add that to the back of each of the Snazzy letters. I decided to alternate which ones would be propped up with foam adhesive and which ones would be sort of stuck down. So I took the N, the Z, and the Y, which initially I was going to make it an N, so it would have been like, I don't know, skinny or something. But I did realize it was supposed to be a Z. So I took the N, the Z, and the Y, and I glued those down first with regular tape runner adhesive, and then I prop up the other 4 letters, or the other 3 letters and exclamation point, I should say. So here is the finished Snazzy Succulent card. It's a pop-up, it's a shaker, it's rainbow, it's fun. There's a lot going on here. Stephanie, I hope you had a wicked, wonderful birthday, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're interested in more videos, please consider subscribing to my channel. You can follow me on social media at Bubblegum Paper or visit my blog at bubblegumpaper.com. Here are links to 2 recent videos. One is a shaker and one's a pop-up. See you soon. Bye.